How's it going, guys? For this thing, I'm revisiting a topic that I made my first video about 3 years ago, which was how to get into Kingdom Hearts, or even introduce someone to it. But now it's 2018 and things have changed quite a bit, so I think another explanation is warranted. But this is a bit of a sentimental topic for me because it prompted me to try this kind of commentary and criticism of entertainment that I wanted to talk about. I'll also leave a link in the description of the original video if you're interested, but it's a lot of the same info as what I'll be covering here. So if you want to play through the entire series, the barrier for entry is pretty straightforward now that the 1.5 plus 2.5 HD Remix and HD Dream Drop Distance have come out on the PS4. You can just play through the games in the order presented on the disc. The whole series will pretty much be encapsulated through those, but there are some non-playable games. 358 over 2 days, Recoded, and Key are essentially a compilation of cutscenes in a movie form. Days and Recoded are DS games, if you really want to play them. Key is based on a mobile game, which honestly I've never been interested in, so I can't say I have much first-hand experience with it, or really much to say about it at all for that matter. And I actually haven't seen the movie of it either, but anyway, if you're interested in that, then now you know how to pursue it. I know that not everyone owns a PlayStation 4, or maybe you're looking for a console to buy, and you'd like to play the Kingdom Hearts games on that. In that case, the best console to buy to play the Kingdom Hearts series would be obviously the PlayStation 4, because you got those HD ports on it, and of course the PlayStation 4 is also just a great console. There's a wide variety of games on there and lots of good stuff, so just a great console to have in general. But if you don't have a PlayStation 4 or you don't want to buy one, the PlayStation 3 is another good option. I mean, you probably wouldn't want to buy a PlayStation 3 right now, unless you were able to find a really good deal on one. But the PlayStation 3 has the 1.5 and 2.5 HD remixes on it. They're separate titles though. They aren't released in the same package like they were on the PlayStation 4. And then if you want to play the non-remixed titles, if you have a 3DS in addition to the PlayStation 3, then you have basically encapsulated the whole series. I feel like it's pretty important for me to mention that if you start with the first game, which was made in 2001, the contemporary gamer of 2018 might find some of the choices for how you progress through the game frustrating, and that might not be the best way to sell you on the Kingdom Hearts series. However, I will say that if you do end up starting with Kingdom Hearts 1, it does get better as you go along, and if you aren't interested by the time you're at the third world, then I think it's reasonable to drop it. The thing is that most people probably don't want to play 9 games, especially if they haven't even played one. So if you just want to play one game that's good, Birth by Sleep is a good option. It's on PSP, it's on PlayStation 3 in the 2.5 remix, it's on PS4 in the 1.5 plus 2.5 remix. This game stands on its own as a prequel to the series. The combat and RPG mechanics are a good example of the series, and they're well refined in this game as well. Also, the story moves at a good pace, especially if you choose Terra or Ven first. From what I remember, Aqua's story moves a bit slower, but anyway, this is a good game to check out if you'd like. 358 over 2 days is another good one to get into the series with. The playable version is on the DS. There is a non-playable version on one of the HD remixes, but that's just a compilation of cutscenes, remember. If you want to actually play the game, you have to get the DS version. Again, the combat and RPG mechanics represent the series well. It's a relatively self-contained story that moves at an engaging pace. Recoded, also on the DS, was where I started. It's relatively self-contained. The story is kind of a retread of the first game, and they deviate from the traditional action combat at times, but it still has it, and it's still pretty fun and good, but it's a fine place to start as well. As far as playing the games out of order, like starting with 2, I wouldn't recommend it because the story would be confusing, but it's a video game and you play it, and they're still fun to play. The gameplay is still fun, so ultimately when deciding which game you start with and how many of the Kingdom Hearts games you're gonna play, just choose whichever one you want. Just choose whichever one makes you happy, because that's a good principle for life. But anyway, hopefully this information should help guide you. So there you have it, a 2018 update of my first video from way back 3 years ago. This channel has always been a casual project and provides me with a great outlet for commentary on video games and movies mainly, sometimes comic books, kind of. But thinking back on where I was 3 years ago compared to now, I feel like I've built a fair amount of character personally, which doesn't really show through in these videos because the subject matter has remained consistent. I mean, I guess when I started I wanted the tone to be more formal, but I quickly changed that so it was more laid back, which kind of reflects a change in my temperament. So, that's kind of interesting that was sort of documented on the channel. But as far as the future goes, I don't plan on stopping. I mean, I pretty much only make stuff when I want to. This is fun. It's not a job. I already have one of those. I don't get paid for this or necessarily want to. However, I'm trying to decide on the direction for this channel, and I realized that it could peter out, which is a little sad, but it is what it is. So I'm trying to think of things that I'd be interested in making, but also stuff that would be interesting to more people than just me and perhaps fill a niche. My standard for myself is, would I watch or listen to my videos? And the thing is that I have a pretty low standard for that, so that's why I put out videos with just a still image in the video space. But anyway, this channel has been fun for 3 years, and I'm hoping that I can find the right direction for it, so thanks for listening.